Alright, it's a beautiful morning, and today we're going to talk CRKT. Let's do it! How's everybody doing? Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're doing well. Today we've got 6 CRKT knives to go over, and I'm going to talk about the company a little bit and why I like them and what I like about these knives. Before I do that, though, I'm just going to give a quick update like I said I would last week. For my PM2, I talked about this knife in my last video. If you didn't see it, I'm going to pop it in the corner there. I got this Lynch clip that arrived since the making of my last video, and it's a fade anodized titanium clip. And I just wanted to kind of show the knife with it on there because this is how I have it configured now. I'm going to be carrying it like this, and yeah, highly recommend Casey Lynch. Definitely check him out. Check out his work. It's a beautiful clip, and it sits nice and deep in my pocket now. So there's that. Just wanted to give a quick update on this guy for those of you who were curious. All right, let's move on to the main topic at hand. Alright, so CRKT, for those of you who are not familiar, stands for Columbia River Knife and Tool. And they are an American company that makes budget line knives, basically. Which they have knives that are made in China. They're not made in America, but they are an American company. And they have a whole ton of really, really cool designs. They have knives from a bunch of well-known designers, some of which I'm going to be showing off here. But they have a lot of knives for really great prices, and they're great quality. I mean, they really hold up well. They can take a beating. So definitely check them out if you haven't yet. I'm just going to show my CRKT collection here, the 6 knives that I have, in the order that I got them. So starting off with this guy. This is the Heiho. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Heiho. Either way. James Williams design. And he does a lot of this really cool sort of like samurai-esque designing. And oh my god, I can't even get it open. There we go. So this knife is spring assisted, and it's got a thumb disc. And you can see it sometimes, if you don't get the thumb on there right, it doesn't pop open. But if you do it right like you're supposed to, it pops open really nice and fast. It's got some good authority to it. So this is a really nice. This was an entry for me into the kind of EDC world. This was the first knives like recently that I purchased, getting into knives more heavily. But what drew me is the design. It's a really cool design. I like the sort of almost wood grain on the G10. I got the VEF Serrations version, and these are just wicked. They bite into absolutely anything you need to cut. They're still really nice and sharp. They might actually be a little easier to sharpen than, say, your standard serration because they're just a little bit wider. And this really cool kind of modified Tanto blade, it just spoke to me when I first saw it. But anyways, this is an 8 CR14 MOV blade, which is, by all means a budget steel. But for the price point, I think this knife was $45, $50. Really solid construction, spring assist, deep carry clip, nice recessed screws there. You can see that. It's a really good knife, and I still do carry this from time to time. It's got this little like secondary lock, which is kind of interesting. It basically turns it into a fixed blade, so you can't close the knife even when you push the liner. I don't really use that ever. I don't see much practical purpose for it. But yeah, so that's my first one. Let's see, what's the second one that I bought? Oh, well, right, so I couldn't get enough of that sort of samurai look, and so the next knife I purchased is the Obaki, and this is a Lucas Burnley design. The first of 3 knives that I have from Lucas Burnley. And this, you can see I actually just recently put this little belt loop on here. I've been carrying this Scout carry. It also comes with this cool little lanyard so you can carry it like tucked into your waistline. And that works pretty well, but I actually find it more comfortable Scout carry. But yeah, let's look at this guy. So this is a really cool kind of quake-in design. It's got this traditional wrapped paracord kind of handle, and it's a really tight tight wound. It's super solid, like it's not going anywhere. But I really love the design of this little thing. It's just so simple, but just super cool looking. This one is also 8CR14 MOV, and I think this one was around $25 to $30, and I believe this exact model is discontinued now. This is the one with the red, like Ray skin. This one's got a 3.64 blade, so a little bit longer than the Heiho. I can compare the two. I think the Heiho is like 3.125 is what I've got. But it's a good size for a little fixed blade, you know. And it cuts well. I did a little demo, first video on my channel. Cuts well. It's got a beautiful satin blade. Yeah, I really like this guy too. Second CRKT I bought. I believe this was the first fixed blade that I purchased. It's comfortable. You know, it doesn't slide around. Yeah, makes me feel like a samurai when I'm carrying this thing. Alright, what is the next one that I bought? This guy, the M1601KS, and I can't get it open. I'm just not doing great getting my knives open today on camera, huh? This is a Kit Carson design, one of the many on the M16 line. A lot of very cool knives there. The thing I really love about this is that nice spear point blade. It just looks really killer. Not literally, I mean killer as in awesome. Please don't hurt anybody. But stainless steel handles. It's got a nice weight to it. It's comfortable. The action's pretty good. I actually prefer the thumb stud action, because it really just flies open once you can get it. The only problem with that is if you really give it a hard opening, this lock bar becomes really difficult, there we go, to push. It gets a little bit stuck, and that would be my one gripe with this knife, is that the lock bar can sometimes be a little difficult to access and open up. Well, actually, my one of two gripes. The other gripe is that it's only configured for tip down carry. And I really don't like that. I'm a tip up kind of guy. So I wish that there was an option. On the bigger knives in this line, there's an option, but on this little guy, there just isn't enough room for this particular clip that they put on. I mean, it's fine. It's not a big deal. I take this knife running sometimes because it's small and light. See, I can't get the lock bar. There we go. That's something to keep in mind. But really like this guy. 8CR13 MOV blade, so just a hair less chromium. I don't know if functionally it's going to make a huge difference. I haven't noticed in using this one compared to the CR14, but that's what the chemistry is. So take that information with what you will. This one is 3.125 blade length, same as the Heiho, and yeah, it's another good small folding knife. Okay, now the next one that I got is the CRKT Minimalist. This is another awesome little fixed blade from CRKT. This is one that I have also configured for scout carry. Super comfortable. Barely even know it's there when it's on my back just because it's so little. But it's also very functional. And it's extremely comfortable. This is just, it fits so well because of these little finger grooves. And I can even get a little bit of purchase on that lanyard with my pinky. And it's not going anywhere. I mean, it's so solid. I had to cut some tips off the tube of a caulking tube, and it's pretty thick plastic, but this little blade it's so stubby and solid that it just cuts right through it super easily. And it's a relatively cheap steel, so I wasn't too worried about getting sticky stuff on it. I just cleaned it right off. Speaking of the steel, this is 5CR15 MOV. So a little bit less on the carbon compared to the 8CR13, 8CR14, and a little up on the chromium. Again, functionally, not sure it's going to make a huge difference. Using it, it does dull reasonably quick. I cut a lot of cardboard and stuff, and it's not a high dollar, high budget, high end steel by any means, but you can pretty much easily put a sharpened edge on it. It's not hard to sharpen because it's a softer steel. So yeah, what can I say? Alan Folt's design. He's got a bunch of other really cool minimalist design knives. Check them out. I'm sure there's a design that fits your style. So give this one a 2.125 inch blade. So an inch shorter than these other guys. and yeah, you can see that. But good little secondary knife. Definitely good to have. All right. Oh, and I think this one comes in around $25 to $30 as well. You'll see a lot of these CRKTs coming in under $50, which is just great, especially considering the quality. Okay, the next, another Burnley design, the Aux. Now this one I believe is discontinued and it's going for like $23 on, say, Blade HQ or wherever you can find them. So they're on sale. But this is one I picked up semi-recently, and you can see it's got some marks on it because I was using it pretty hard in the woods. This is a pretty cool little fixed blade, and it fits well in the hand. The jimping is a little extreme for my taste, so it kind of digs in your thumb if you get after it too much. But it looks cool, and it's got this this cool sort of golf ball pattern on the GFN handle. It sounds kind of hollow. I kind of wish it was a little bit more solid feeling, but that's all right. I mean, it's like $25, so can't complain. This is a 8CR13 blade, kind of same as the others. Held up reasonably well. I was like cutting some kind of big branches with it and some like thick plastic. It got dull, you know, without a doubt. I sharpened it like yesterday, but it didn't chip or anything. With the branches, you know, the edge is still intact. It got marked up. I could probably clean that off, but I kind of like the way it looks. So it held up, and it's a comfortable size. I had this one. Right now there's a J hook on here. I don't really use it. I had switched out this I had switched out this little belt loop when I was carrying it around and had it scout carry as well. Very comfortable, you know. Another good little secondary fixed blade. Can't complain. 3.5 inches, Lucas Burnley again. I really like his knives. You're going to see a pattern. He's got a lot of really good stuff. He's a great designer. So yeah, the Aux, great little fixed blade. Okay, and lastly, my most recent addition to my CRKT family was actually gifted to me from my lovely lady, and this little guy is one that I've wanted for a while. This is the Squid. Man, and this is definitely my favorite CRKT that I have. This little guy is awesome. Besides looking super great, I mean, you can see it looks kind of like a squid body here. And he's just short and stubby, and he's great. I mean, I've been carrying this guy along with this big PM2 here. I've been carrying it in that little mini pocket in my jeans. And he slides in there so easily, and you know, he's nice and small and stubby, so I don't really feel it there. It's got this great deep carry clip. Total stainless steel construction. All got this matching like black acid wash, which looks really cool. Camera probably doesn't do it justice, but in person it looks great. And they also make a bunch of aftermarket scales for this guy, but I think I like this guy the best. The lock bar is super easy. The action is amazing. I mean, it's super smooth. Look at it drop shut. Super smooth for such a budget knife. I think this one's like 30, 25 bucks, something like that, depending on exactly where you buy it. 8CR13 MOV, same that you're going to get with most CRKTs. So I obviously don't expect extreme performance from that, but it's a budget knife. That's what you're going to get. And for that price, you know, it's great. A nice little kind of spear point-ish, like fat little blade. He came super sharp out of the box. 2.25 inch, 2 1/4, you know, good size little guy. Yeah, no, I love it so far. I've been playing with this thing nonstop and carrying it with me. I believe this is an aluminum backspacer. It certainly feels like aluminum. You can also get titanium ones if you so desire. But yeah, definitely check out the Squid. Lucas Burnley's also got the Tuna, which I'm a big fan of. I don't own one, but I would like to. That one's a little more expensive. I think that one comes around 45, 50 bucks. It's bigger, obviously. But yeah, I love the little Squid. So that's my CRKT collection, and yeah, let's get to a conclusion here, shall we? So CRKT, great budget company from the U.S., made in China, but you can expect, you know, great quality, and they're gonna hold up. They're gonna hold up really well. I wouldn't say, you know, don't be ready for extremely high like steel performance. They make some knives in D2 now. Actually, they're kind of turning a little bit towards that, which is definitely an upgrade to the 8CRs, 5CRs, things like that. Yeah, I still would say, you know, obviously be aware of that, but you're paying usually less than $50, so you can't. It's hard to complain about any kind of cutting performance under that price range. So definitely check them out. I love them. Obviously, my CRKT collection is still growing, even in the midst of, you know, buying knives like this, because they're fun and they're great to handle and they're great to use, regardless of the lower end maybe steels. Yeah, so I'll leave you guys with that. And as always, thanks so much for the support. Leave your questions and comments below, and we'll see you next time. All right, stay well.